Welcome to UFO Headline News with me, Heidi Hollis. Today is Saturday, December 16th, 2017. Blasting off with some UFO reports. There was a UFO sighting in Tacloban City, eastern Visayas, on November 13th, 2016. And they go on to describe the satellite-like object appears to revolve around the moon in seconds. The end. The next UFO sighting is from Toronto, Canada. This occurred June 3rd, 2017. In brief, the witness states, witnessed a gray cylinder slowly rotate counterclockwise while lying in a park in downtown Toronto. I alerted the two people I was with and visually tracked the object to the northeast. The object reflected light as it spun around. In more detail, the witness goes on to say, the three of us were in a Toronto park that overlooks the downtown core. I was lying on my back when directly above me, I spotted a gray cylinder in the sky, slowly revolving backwards. I pointed at the object with my arm and asked, "What is that?" to my friends, and continued to visually track the object on its northward flight path. The object rotated about every 10 seconds, and I could clearly see the side reflecting light from the sun. I lost sight of the object over the horizon. When it had passed, I asked what the time was. 7:45 p.m., June 3rd, 2017. I then commented that we had just seen a UFO. What was upsetting was that this thing defied all principles of flight. That's upsetting. It had no wings, no sound, no engine. I could say this has been a life-changing event for me. For now, when I see photos of UFOs, I have to believe the photos are real. You do? That's okay. The next UFO sighting. This took place in Whitesboro, New York, August 20th of 2016. In brief, the witness states, I spotted this dog bone object in my backyard. It appeared to be two white and black objects, possibly round or hexagonal, connected together and tumbling, there's another tumbler, while traveling in a straight line west. In more detail, the witness states, I spotted this dogbone object in my backyard. It appeared to be two white and black objects, possibly round and hexagonal, connected together and tumbling while traveling in a straight line west. I recorded footage with an iPhone 6S Plus at 1080p 60 FPS. I zoomed in digitally while viewing objects straight with my naked eye. Being so caught up in the excitement, I forgot to zoom back and unknowingly ended up losing the sight of the object with my phone. Darn it! The next UFO sighting happened in Vero Beach, Florida. This occurred March 19th, 2017. Strange lights in the sky. In detail, the witness states, I was shooting still photography at a carnival west of Vero Beach, Florida, a few miles west from the Atlantic Ocean. I captured two images that show unusual lights behind the foreground carnival equipment, which was the actual target I was aiming at. The lights do not appear to be a camera-related issue, such as dirt or reflection or lens or sensor aberration. The camera used is a Sony A6000. A close inspection of the photo that shows, quote, rock star on the carnival ride shows the lights in a different position than they do in the subsequent photo, where the ride's position has changed, and you can see the lights just beneath the left arm of the ride, not far from the center support structure. In the, quote, rock star photo, lower right, just to the left of the Ferris wheel, you can clearly see a helicopter, which was providing 5-minute rides for $20 around the carnival. 2 of the supplied photos are close crops from the originals, so you can see the area of the photo without having to pull up the entire original. Another screenshot shows the date and time information. Cool. The next UFO sighting, this occurred in Dollard des Amoureux, Quebec. This occurred March 19th, 2017. In brief, they state one light orb, then a small orb broke off. Then they were 2. The small orb lit up bright, then it dimmed down. In more detail, they state, I was starting my workday. I do maintenance in the buildings I live in. When I went outside, I happened to look up, like always, and I saw what looked like a star, but then it started moving. Then I took my cell phone and began to record it. As I was watching the one orb, a small orb broke off. Then, as it was moving, the small orb lit up bright. Then it dimmed down. The next UFO sighting happened in Sunnyvale, California, March 12, 2017. High-altitude translucent orbs with video. In detail, the witness goes on to say, I was on a walk on a sunny, no-cloud day. I was looking up at a telephone pole, as in some cities we are getting public Wi-Fi. So I saw something on the telephone pole to check out. As I was looking up, I saw 4 orbs moving fast. We have 3 airports and a NASA. We have planes in the sky all the time, from single engines to 747s to military jets, so I've never seen this before. I quickly got out my phone and started taking video. If you have a big monitor, it's very obvious. As I was taking video, I could not see the orbs on my phone screen, so I was guessing where to video. What I noticed that caused me to go, quote, UFO, was that these orbs were translucent. If you ever remember the movie Predator, the creature had translucent cameo. I could see the orbs, but they appeared to be the same color of the sky. I could see 4. The first 3 were in a V formation, followed by a single one, almost trying to catch up. That's what I remembered. In the video, you will see the first 3 moving fast and not in a V formation. So, in the 10 seconds to take my phone out and video the V formation was gone. After the V formation, they were in a weird flight line. The video is shaky, as I didn't know if I was getting it. It was exactly 12:03 p.m. Orbs were moving northeast to southwest. It appeared to be high altitude and moving fast. There were other planes in the sky at the time, flying low to land. What was a little weird was a very high plane. I could only see the contrail, otherwise you wouldn't see it, and it was flying from a south to north and then a north to south. The other planes were single engines, 747 types with no contrails. It could be just a random plane flying really low, but who knows? On another note, there's a case number 82624, which was reported the same day and same area, is very similar to my story. So if the person can look at the video and confirm if this is what he or she saw, that would be pretty cool. Their description is right on the money to what I saw. Mine was earlier in the day, but the interesting thing is that the orbs were heading in that person's general direction. Ooh, pretty cool. On to an alien adventure. This alien encounter happened in Casa Grande, Arizona, and it's a blast from the past, August 31st, 1995. In brief, they state, man on the run with taken Alien evidence was grabbed and put in a van. Huh, okay. The story insists. I know this event happened a long time ago, but it has always bothered me. I am sure someone has wondered what happened to this gentleman. I want to tell the little tiny part of this story, an effort to help solve a possible missing person situation. Oh. In case this man had never shown up anywhere again. Just maybe somebody will recognize the very general information I do not know about, and that it might help solve a serious event. I am very unclear of the date and even not for sure of the year, late or mid 1990s. I am sorry I did not report this somewhere previously. It was unclear where I should go or who to report such the situation to. It was around 3 p.m. on a Friday, I believe. I was down at the town's motor vehicle department waiting to have an inspection done on a vehicle and then get the tags and title to the auto. I happened to park beside a gentleman of about 45 years old. He was tall, white, pale, no facial hair, and may have had a receding hairline and light hair. We were both waiting for a long time because it was so busy that day. The man slowly started to approach me, and he appeared very nervous and was sweating for more than the weather made a reason for. He made it a point to explain a little bit about his behavior. He told me that he knew it sounded far-fetched, but that he has been running from town to town trying to stay hidden from the government secret military. I having never in my life been in a conversation with anyone about this kind of conversation made me even more uncomfortable for him to say what he was attempting to say. He said that he felt he finally had lost them, and that he was there to get a vehicle tag to fit in with the state of Arizona and his new fictitious name. He was planning to try to stay here for a while and make Casa Grande his home for a few months, but he just had to put this new used car in order, saying that he had been with many vehicles trying to conceal his path if they were following and getting close. He was very nervous telling me this, and I was rather shocked and mostly just listened. I asked him why he was telling me, though. He said he was on a mission to break out the truth to the world about UFOs and that fact that they were real, and he could prove it. He said that his mission was to tell as many as possible, and to prove it to all he could by means of showing people the evidence he had stolen from Area 51. He asked if I knew of this place, and at the time, I had not. So he explained that this is where the government and military try to hide the truth of aliens. And the fact is, they are real, and that he wanted me to see his evidence. He stated he stole at least reels of videotape feed, all showing information and documentation of actual aliens. He said if I would like to see them. I was quite stunned at what this well-kept, mid-aged man was saying. I told him I would like to see, but I'm afraid to be alone with him under the potential threat of getting caught by some secret society on his heels, and asked if I could bring somebody with me. He had no problem with that, and said it would be even better because he would be getting the word out to two of us. So very strange. I raced to a phone to call my boyfriend and tell him all this, and he insisted on coming with, which was a great relief to me, though his boss did not like him just leaving work with very little being said. The man instructed me that he was at this one motel I knew of, and that he was in the first room on the south end, and I knew perfectly where this was. We pull into a motel, and the man's car was not pulled up all the way into the parking spot, and a rear passenger door was still open. His motel room door had been kicked in, and it was down. I could see the manager of the motel going in and
When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers!
Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Offers require porting of number not currently active on T-Mobile network. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 40p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and conditions.
opposite direction from us, and he would not respond to my calling to him. We were out looking around, stunned at all that had taken place, when we see in the middle of the parking area sat a white new van, and the doors were slamming shut, and the driver was in a hurry to leave. Noise like kicking the panels inside the van could be heard as it kicked up rocks, speeding away from us. My boyfriend told me to get back into our truck, and we left fast. We hardly spoke a word about it, but like I said at the beginning, this has always bothered me. What happened to him? Is anyone looking for him? Did he survive this ordeal? Wow, that is highly freaky. Almost sounds like she's describing the famous Bob Lazar, doesn't it? I don't know if he's ever shared that story. Okay, going on to the next alien adventure. E.T. autopsy information revealed in Dr. Greer's new book. The article begins, the following anatomical information about gray ETs is from Dr. Stephen Greer's brand new book, Unacknowledged, an expose of the world's greatest secret. It is based on highly classified alien autopsy information. It should be noted that the book primarily focuses on UFO reports by eyewitnesses in high places, who also attest to the government, or cabal, cover-up of the ET reality. The latter portion of the book encourages citizens to initiate their own peaceful contact with ETs and present a plan to develop ET clean and free energy technology, which has been suppressed by those who profit from the oil industry. I've heard that for years. The editor states this. Going on. Bullet points. The surviving extraterrestrial from the first Roswell crash was referred to as an EBIN, which is short for extraterrestrial biological entity. It had a chlorophyll-based internal anatomy, and it processed food into energy and waste material in the same manner as plants. Next bullet point. What we found out was that these EBINs had just one organ that was made up of heart and lungs. It was just one organ. And they had a couple different stomachs for different digestive reasons. And they had an organ that would take every single bit of moisture out of whatever they ate and fed the body. So they really didn't have to drink a lot of fluids. The creatures were about 4 feet. Their hands had no thumbs, just 4 fingers, with suction devices on the tips. They didn't have any ears, but they had a canal with an organ or gland, a little bulb out of which they could hear. Their eyes were very sophisticated, and the optic nerves went into a different place in the brain from humans. But they didn't have vocal cords like we have. They had 11 different lobes of their brain, and where their spinal cord met the brain, it had little bulbs on each side, which they could never figure out what they were. As for reproductive organs, they were all male. I think the EBIN once told them that there were females, but there weren't any females on any of these crafts. Male domination everywhere. The males had a reproductive gland in the body. I guess it came out at the appropriate time. The muscles were extremely fibrous, especially their leg muscles. They weren't bulky, but they were strong. This Eben that lived, he had an Air Force captain that was assigned to him, and the captain was a linguist. He was also an intelligence officer and was able to build a really good rapport with the Eben, communicating far more than anyone else could. He actually lived with the Eben for 3 or 4 years until it died. Realizing the ET was dying, the United States began broadcasting radio signals into deep space in an attempt to demonstrate peaceful intentions to a superior entity. On June 2, 1952, Eben died. Steven Spielberg's movie E.T. was loosely based on these events. The movie Unacknowledged premieres June 24th, 2017 at the Alien Cosmic Expo at the Crowne Plaza at the Toronto Airport. And it can also be purchased through iTunes and Amazon. So that's something that's already taken place. So go dig in, everybody. This next story. Robert T. Bigelow is founder, president, and program manager of Bigelow Aerospace, which designs and develops expandable habitats for space. He also owns Budget Suites of America and has been a very successful real estate developer. This billionaire businessman says ETs are on Earth. Bob Bigelow is so successful and self-confident that he doesn't care if you think he's crazy. He is absolutely convinced there are extraterrestrials already here on Earth. On May 28, 2017, he actually openly spoke about ET beliefs on CBS's 60 Minutes. Oh, I missed it. But there is a link to view the 2-minute and 14-second segment from the CBS show. So, if you wish to see the entire 12-minute CBS feature with Robert Bigelow, you can also go to the link that we have on our page. The next story, skeleton of an ET in silver suit found in cave. The story begins as a boy in the early 1900s, Luis Santiago was hired to be a gopher for an archaeologist working at the Mayan ruins in Copan, Honduras. He was paid the equivalent of 10 cents per day, but there were incentives. When he learned English, his pay jumped to 50 cents per day. Then he and his cousins were paid for any artifacts they found on their own time in the many caves around the ruins. Luis eventually became an interpreter and guide at the Copan ruins and worked there for 75 years. When he turned 100 years old, Dr. Artie Sixkiller Clark, professor at Montana State University, was able to interview him. The most remarkable story he told her was about finding a skeleton of a man in a silver suit in one of the caves. He states, "His suit was silver from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet," he told her. All that remained inside the suit was a skeleton. From the size of the suit, he was a small man, smaller than me. At this point, Luis used his hands to show Dr. Clark that the skeleton was little more than 3 feet tall. He goes on, "His head was covered in a hard, metal-like tube. We found a strange tablet with strange characters on it lying beside him. It was not Mayan writing. We knew the Mayan writing from the seal. The writing was foreign to us. It was unknown to the archaeologists, too." When Dr. Clark asked what happened when the archaeologists saw the little skeleton in the silver suit, he replied, "They were excited. They took it into one of their tents and began examining it. One of them said they had to send it back to the USA immediately. He said it was proof that the Maya had a connection with the stars." He goes on, "We never hunted for artifacts after that. Our conscience would not let us. For some reason, I think we knew we had given up an important part of our history. One of the scientists who took it knows the truth, and they are not talking. Your government probably knows too. I think our government knows, but they do not want to admit it to us simple people. But our people know far more than the governments about the men from the stars. Dr. Clark includes Lewis's entire story in Chapter 9 of her book, Sky People, which features reports by indigenous people in Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, and Mexico about their encounters with extraterrestrials. The 46-chapter book is packed with stories and written in a clear, easy-to-read style. The Sky People. That sounds pretty darn good. Next, going on to paranormal points. There's someone under the bed. Sometimes the very short ghost stories are the best, and this tale tells the story of a father putting his young son to bed. I begin tucking him into bed, and he tells me, "Daddy, check for monsters under my bed." I look underneath for his amusement and see him, another him, under the bed, staring back at me, quivering and whispering, "Daddy, there's somebody on my bed." Okay, I got chills. That was a good one. The chair. This short tale starts benignly enough with a friendly-seeming ghost playing with children. But when you learn the origins of the ghost, and just why the ghost is moving the object around the room, it quickly gets a lot creepier. The story begins when my sister Betsy and I were kids. Our family lived for a while in a charming old farmhouse. We loved exploring its dusty corners and climbing the apple tree in the backyard. But our favorite thing was the ghost. We called her Mother because she seemed so kind and nurturing. Some mornings Betsy and I would wake up, and on each of our nightstands we'd find a cup that hadn't been there the night before. Mother had left them there, worried that we'd get thirsty during the night. She just wanted to take care of us. Among the home's original furnishings was an antique wooden chair, which we kept against the back wall of the living room. Whenever we were preoccupied watching TV or playing a game, Mother would inch that chair forward across the room toward us. Sometimes she'd manage to move it all the way to the center of the room. We always felt sad putting it back against the wall. Mother just wanted to be near us. Years later, long after we'd moved out, I found an old newspaper article about the farmhouse's original occupant, a widow. She'd murdered her 2 children by giving them each a cup of poisoned milk before bed. Then she hung herself. Oh, gosh. The article included a photo of the farmhouse's living room with a woman's body hanging from a beam. Beneath her, knocked over, was that old wooden chair placed exactly in the center of the room. Did it just get cold in here, or is it just me? Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for listening to UFO Headline News with me, Heidi Hollis. Be sure to check out UFOHeadlineNews.com every single day. And also tune into my other weekly show, The Outlander, which is every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and catch my paranormal comic, The Outlanders. Direct links can be found via HeidiHollis.com or just come to InceptionRadioNetwork.com. Remember always to keep an open mind so you can stay informed and inspired.
When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers! Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Offers require port and if number not currently active on T-Mobile network. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 40p. No tethering. See store for details and terms.